Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is July 21st, YC127, and we still don't have a Galente presidential election, but this is the Eve Universe Show! Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going, guys? I know, it's summer, man. I'm sorry. We're getting as much content as we can out, I guess. I don't know. It's also been kind of quiet, although we do have news, especially for us explorers out there, which is why I am here in my Stratios, because once we go over the kind of the news, what I want to do is maybe go do some Yeet exploration or some Pochven exploration to see what's going on. In fact, speaking of Pochven, I do want to bring up, it was brought to my attention that there's a guy. What is it? It's oh no, what group is he with? I can't remember. Let's see if we can find it. There is a series of there's a Pochven epic arc being made within freelance jobs. Can I search freelance jobs? Yes, Pochven. Can I do that? Yeah, here we go. So these are being made by Svarog Liberi in the initiative. He's put up a series of... Oh, hold on. He's put up a series of freelance jobs as his epic arc. So you can go ahead and check these out. These are basically pretty simple, or like tasks that are designed to get somebody who might be new to the game or interested in... kind of taking on the next step, and gives them an opportunity, like gives them some ideas about what they can do in Pochven. So, you know, hello Capsuleers, today's your lucky day. I have a job for you. We've been getting weird readings from ore deposits lately, and we need you to check them out. Mine Scordite and deliver them here. This will allow us to calibrate our sensors. Brought to you by the Pochven Rejuvenation Project and Svarog Libre. Yeah. 3 of them are marked. I think you're supposed to do... That's a good point. Well, it's because... So, I don't know why he has 3 different projects for people to participate in. But all 3 of the ones that are labeled Part 2 are all the same thing, right? Because it says, okay, well, now you need to mine Besnazine. Oh, is it going to be... Yeah, Besnazine. So yeah, it's there is no 3-part. Maybe part 3 actually got completed already. Let me go see. We have okay. No. There are 3 part 2s because there's 3 sections of Pochven, right? So this is Perun, this is Svarog, and this is Vel'ash. So you can do one of the 3. So there is actually supposed to be 2 part 3s. That's fine. And then what's missing is Crusade Against the Drones. So... Oh. He sent me a list of the different story pieces. So maybe it already got done? Maybe my filtering isn't working yet right. Maybe I'm not within range of his thing. Either way, just kind of a cool thing to look at that was brought to my attention today or yesterday by the guy who's working on it. If you've got something cool going on in Eve that you want me to show off, especially with freelance jobs, let me know. But today... we're going to jump into the news, but first, of course, we're going to do a quick little review of the current sale. Now, I've been pretty open about the fact that I'm sort of disappointed on the last few sales. We will see if this one's any better. It does look like we are getting the those Harada Oki skins, which we were looking at. Now, you could have gotten the free one from watching Twitch, but that one's over. So if you want to get I think it was the Maelstrom? Hold on. Yeah, Maelstrom. The Maelstrom Harada Oki skin, it was available on Twitch, which means it'll be kind of cheap now if you go and pick it up. Yeah. But to continue to celebrate Mimitar Liberation Day and get 20% discount off Plex with the brand new spiky Harada Oki Offender skins for select Mimitar ships. Show your support for the, and it has the Cheetah, the Spitbull, the Stabber Fleet issue, the Cyclone Fleet issue, the Nidhogger, the Naglfar Fleet issue. So the 1,000 Plex, let's just go ahead and look at the prices real quick. So 1,000 Plex and one skin. So the Cheetah skin is $35. 1,000 Plex would normally be $50, discounted to $45 because of bulk, discounted further because of the 20% to $35, and they are giving you the skin. So this is actually, I just got to say, my alt is stuck in Pochven. Help me out with a billion loot. Brad, probably not the best thing to try to do on stream. If you hop in the Discord, if you're not already there, and message me, we can see about getting you out, like probing you out a wormhole and escorting it out. Alternatively, if you can dock, you can probably pick up a Divana filament, which will at least get you outside of Pochven. It might take you to low sec, but I don't know what you're in. I would need more information before I can say anything. Yeah. Actually, Malin will take good care of you. If you message Malin in-game, same name, if he says that he'll take care of you, he will take care of you. Anywho, so, like, I do appreciate the fact that these do seem to be closer to what we would expect with packs in EVE, in the fact that, like, I can safely say that you're getting a deal on the Plex, and then there are skins on top of that, right? Like, the last few sales that they've had have been a lot more tricky because it wasn't as obvious that the things that actually cost money was like the full value of the pack. You would actually have to value the skins and the skinner components that came in those packs in order to actually feel like that pack is worth it. This pack is just a flat 20% off these Plex packs plus those skins. So I can safely say that if you need to buy Plex, this is actually probably a really good pack to get, because A, it's discounted, and B, these skins are actually pretty cool. So let's go ahead and look at these. We've got the Harada. So just so, in case people are not aware, the Harada Oki is the branch of the Thucker tribe, which is a Mimitar group. But the Thucker, while they have, in the last decade or so, recently actually joined the Republic, the Thucker are probably the most independent of the tribes of the Mimitar. And as such, most of them are vagabonds, travelers. In fact, the vagabonds made by the Thucker. But I'm pretty sure. Either way, you know, they exist mostly in traveling caravans. And so they are like more of the smugglers and like shady people of the Mimitar, of all the different tribes. They're the most known for that. And then as the Deathless began to create his circle of power within the Fulcrum in Zarzak, the Harada Oki is basically the main Mimitar caravan that joined up with the Deathless. There's a couple other groups that did too, but the Harada Oki is like the big one. So either way, if you want, you can get the Cheetah skin. Now, with these things being pretty well, you could probably pick them up on the market too. The cool thing about these skins are they've got some additional lights put onto it, but then also there's these spikes, as they kind of mentioned in the dev blog. So there's spikes on the side here, and on the back. I don't know if there's any particle effects or anything like that on them. I don't know if anybody does know that at this point. I still haven't like taken one for a spin or anything. So this is the $35 pack. And then, so for the $52 pack, You get the Cheetah and the Svipul. The Svipul used to be like an overpowered T3 destroyer. Now it's just fine. The cool thing about the Svipul is that it does kind of fold down depending on which mode that you're in. T3 destroyers have kind of 3 different modes: an attack mode, a defense mode, and a speed mode. And they kind of change shape depending on which mode that they're in. For the $100 pack, you get the Stabber Fleet Issue. Now, this is the one I actually want. I may have to go pick up, just because the Stabber Fleet Issue is a mean ship when it comes to punching down, like killing frigates and stuff. It's very, very fast. So this kind of punkish look for the Stabber Fleet Issue, I think, really, really looks good and makes me want to pick it up so that way I can run around with it in like faction warfare or whatever. It does make a pretty decent faction warfare ship. And then for the $192 pack, you also get the Cyclone Fleet Issue, which is also a very strong ship. I'm less inclined to use it. I mean, like, this is getting closer to like fleet combat a lot of the time when it gets used. It is a pretty decent fleet ship. Pretty sure I've used it before. Hold on. Can I... I should have a couple... Maybe? Maybe not. I thought for sure I had Cyclone Fleet Issues laying around. Maybe it was something else. Either way. Stabber Fleet is one of the ships you can put an oversized micro-warp drive on. If I remember correctly, you can get up to 5,000 meters per second. Agility on that build is terrible, though. Well, yeah, anytime you put any sort of overprop on a ship, its agility is going to be absolutely terrible. That is true. Hold on, let me... A little bit. There we go. And then, so... We have firmly left what I would consider reasonable purchases, but for $335, which if you have $335 to spend on Plex, please consider becoming a member or a patron. Thank you. And so for $335, you too can have the Nidhogg Harada Oki skin. Nidhogg being the carrier. I do like the fact that it changes the colors too. Like you can see that the hanger gets this nice blue color. Where'd it go? And it has spikes all along its back and bottom. Pretty cool. And then finally, again, if you're considering this, please also consider supporting the stream. Holy crap. But for $520, you get all of those previous skins, 20,000 Plex, which is hold on. 40 months of game time, or like all of the skinners. Either way, with 20,000 Plex, you also get the Naglfar Fleet Issue skin, which is super baller. The Naglfar, I will say that, like, it's almost unfortunate because the Naglfar Fleet Issue has so much like texture and doodads and like visual stuff going on with it. It almost loses the spikes, but they're definitely there. I personally am a big fan of the Arkham Arisen skins, of course, but Harada Oki's definitely up there. Naglfar Fleet Issue is, I think, one of the more popular of the Fleet Issue dread. Well, actually, I would say all of the Fleet Issue dreads have seen some pretty good popularity, so that's even hard to say. But yeah, so that is the current Plex things. And actually, hold on. Let's go ahead and look at how much these things are in Jita. Oh yeah, I did send out quite a few Master Arms Cerebral Accelerators to people who messaged me with the fact that they missed a day thanks to me for the summer, as per the instructions yesterday or last week. I do think that there is at least a couple of people that tried to get over on me by sending a whole bunch of alts because they sent effectively the same message with the same like spelling or abbreviations. And if you didn't end up getting one and you did send one in time, just go ahead and hit me up and we'll get taken care of. I've sent quite a few of them out, but like at a certain point, it took a lot of effort. It was a lot more people than I expected. I guess I should have expected that. Also, people trying to cheat me. Nice, good job, thanks. Any rate, so in the market, we can go Parada. Okay, so the Cheetah, which is the cheapest one, is currently going for only 17 million. So that's pretty good. I'm going to pick that up. Wait. Oh, I don't have any money. This is why, so, pro tip, do not leave spare money on your Jita alt, because if you don't have it, you can't spend it. I managed to lose the third day on my... Yeah, I even lost a day, man. Okay, so then next would be the Spitbull, which is 58 million. That's still not bad. Stabber Fleet issue, 116 million. I should definitely pick that up. We'll get that taken care of in a little bit. The Cyclone Fleet issue, 180 million. Maelstrom. If somebody buys the 20,000 Plex pack and then sells it for ISK, it's worth roughly 120 billion. Just the Plex, right? Yeah, obviously the skins themselves are actually not going to be that much compared to that. That is so much Plex, guys. That's so much Plex. So the Maelstrom Harada Oki skin. So this is the one that was up on for the Twitch drops. Now it's pretty decently priced still at 70 million, but there isn't that many left. There's only 5 left. So that might be something worth noting because they aren't available anymore. So it might be, I bet you by the time I'm finishing this sentence, they might get scooped up. But, okay, so next, the Nidhogger is going to be 900 million, which makes sense. And then finally, the big one, Naglfar Fleet issue, 1 billion. Only 1 billion. I would have actually expected it to be a little bit more for, what, like a $500 pack or whatever. Hold on, how much was it? It was $520. That is so crazy. So crazy. I could use a new video card. That's all I'm going to say. Any for a Varger? I don't think we got anything new. What was the last time we got something new for the Varger? We had the Chainbreaker Kumok skin as part of the Liberation Day stuff, if I remember correctly. In Rust We Trust, Republic Police. War for the Republic. I can't wait for that. Why is that board game taking so long? Yeah, there's the right now there's the Galnet Gnosis skin on Twitch for watching CCP, right? I believe that's it. That's a CCP only one. I don't know what's going on for like the general population at the moment, if anybody knows. Yeah, if you get 20,000 Plex, you can make a lot of skins. You can make a lot of skins, especially since I think Skinner is still discounted right now. Maybe, I think, one more day. Isn't this the last day of Skinner discount? Because today is the last day of the login campaign. See, even I missed a day. Oh, the Galnet on Twitch. That's right. So since it was on Twitch, let's see. A tabletop RPG? Well, they have a board game that's supposed to be coming out. So yeah, the Galnet Dreamcast skin, or sorry, Streamcast skin, is 11 million right now. So very, very affordable if you like pink. $100 for a Vargar. I mean, we can always go look at what they got on Skinner. There's only, wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, there's more. There's the Stars and Stripes. There's Elite Rust. That actually looks really good. I wonder how they get that effect. Like the guy who does the leather, that's the one that, like, I don't understand how he even does it. Just black. Ooh, that one also looks really good with that, like, shiny green bits. This is still using the camo colors, I believe. So, Azdaja camo. Oh, there's that nice Triglavian red. It's almost hard to get a reflection off of it. Kebits? Ooh, that's garish. Lava. Very reflective red. Tiger. That looks good. That looks really good. I could see somebody rocking that. Cosmic glows. I feel like this, yeah, this doesn't work for me personally. Aztec gold. I mean, this is fine if you like it. It's still like kind of random colors here and there. Triglavian Elite. Okay, that one looks good. Join streams, and the first thing is a target print Vargar. Hey, what's up, Dutch? That looks good. See, this is aesthetically pleasing. The black and the red and the gold. That looks really good, especially like the detail. It really brings out some of the detailing that you miss with normal skins. This is very good. Alinar Ironbane should be very proud of himself. It is 1.4 billion, so you could theoretically get any of the Haradoki skins for the price of this thing. But it's good. Still cheaper than the ship itself with a good fit. And Svarmager Federation. I do wonder how it holds up in space with different nebula background. I think it would still look good because it's just black, gold, and red just look good together, and the detailing looks good, makes it look good. So I think that the things that make it look good will make it look good in different lightings, probably. Judge Dredd. It's not a dread. Okay, this one's also pretty good. It's got the red detailing, like edging effects. It's got the skull, which is pretty cool. I think just black and red just look really good on the Vargar. This one is also 325 plex. So I don't remember how much that is. Marauder is a wannabe dread. That's true. The Dark Solution. This looks almost like the Archon Arisen, but it uses that precursor plate shiny color, which is really good. It's also 300 plex though, so I would almost... Let's see, we've got white tracings. Let's see if we can recreate it. I'm not even on my right character right now, so I don't even have the stuff that I use. But let's just go. Primary slot, metallic, precursor plate, detail. Precursor plate. Like, that's that part, right? That's... Wait, that's almost it. Hold on. Okay. Let's do detailing at white. That's basically it, right? Hold on. Save. Copycat. Collection. Nope. Paragon Hub. I wish you could jump back and forth between things a little easier. Was it this one? I mean, they went with like a grayer color. Did they even use a different color? Wait. Okay, do not pay 300 plex for that skin. Holy shit. Like, I don't even have colors. And I recreated it for 65 plex, and that's obviously at 50% off. But I mean, like, you could also just not do that. And, oh, I guess it's the same price no matter whether or not you have white or not. I mean, you could change it to a different color if you want. You could go with, is that better? I don't think that's better. We could go with a different color that I don't own. Yeah, either way. That's a very overpriced skin, but it's pretty good. Let's see what else. The Dodie skin covert dark, which is just black. Warning when it comes to making these Dodie skins or like using these Dodie skins. Hold on, let's see if I can do this. Optimize setting for performance. Return to game. So one thing to note, especially with all of these Dodd skin, whatever, covert, the black ones that they make, they use a single pass, what's it called? Pattern on top. So it doesn't actually change the baseline colors. So if you play on potato mode, you're going to get no effect from this skin whatsoever. So just keep that in mind. That's how they're able to produce it for pretty cheap. So if you play it on full graphics, obviously you get the effect. But like, so the way they do that is we create new design. We'll just do it with the Praxis right here. We just go like this and we say, I want this fade. I want it to be rotated 90 degrees. I want it to be offset back, and I want it to be black. That's it. That's how they do it. So this is 20 plex for this to be made. Now, again, this won't work with potato mode, but so you see these Dodie black skins or Dodd skin, whatever. Make sure you check to see whether or not you really want them and that you can make them probably cheaper again. But either way, potato mode disables a lot of skins. That's actually a big reason why I wanted to upgrade to a GPU. Well, yes and no. So like the patterns go away, but the recolors do not, right? So like if I go to quality again, or not quality, if I go to performance again, you can see that this still looks good, right? In fact, there's a weird like, I honestly have a bit of a fondness for potato mode. It's got kind of a cell-shaded look to it. So yeah, you could definitely tell that this skin shows off even if it's in potato mode. It's just patterns. The pattern that's layered on top that doesn't work. Look at some of the free CCP skins though. Well, yeah, I mean, again, so projected patterns aren't going to come through. So, but I mean, those are free. So this guy's trying to sell you 900 million. It is funny that like, so if we go, hold on, if we go to performance again, we'll see that like this skin and this skin are kind of identical. It is also, by the way, a really interesting way, like if you're trying to figure out how somebody did a skin, it might be worth coming and checking it out in potato mode to kind of get an idea, as at least to be like what base colors that they use or how they did that, and then maybe figure out how the pattern works on top of that. This skin is 2.7 billion. I mean, so the problem is that here, the red is too dark. The red is, like, there's not enough contrast between these different colors. The red, and I'm going to go with blue on the circles here. Definitely don't feel like this is worth 2.7 billion. That's just me. Mirkala, 900 million. Add some silver with the red and black camo. 385 plex. This is... Oh, man. This feels very... This feels very like Tau of Warhammer 40k-ish, I think, right? Like, this is... I mean, very standout colors. This is the kind of thing that either you really like it or you really don't. I do like the design on the front here with the arrows. Think CCP will ever add particle effects to Skinner? So particle effects are so much harder to do. You know, the biggest thing is that, like, anytime they add a particle effect, not anytime, but like a lot of the time, they accidentally make the mistake where that particle effect will appear on other skins. Like, they have to, like, particle effects have to be hand put on every single ship model, and then turned off or on. Evangelion, yes. So they'd have to get past that first. And I would really like to see things like light colors and particle effects and other stuff like that be part of, like, the Paragon station, like loyalty, like Evermark stuff more. But because, like, I think it would be cool if you are able to get a base skin from the Paragon hub, but then add other particle effects to it to customize your own, like, ship. That's what I really want. I don't want the particle effects to necessarily be part of the skin in the same way. That's just me, though. Yeah, we're just talking about Skinner stuff. We're looking at some Vagabond skins. Or Vargur skins, sorry. Yes. Well, I also think that, like, what I really, really, really want to see is, like, if you have a skin with a particle effect, you can use that particle effect on other skins, right? Like, I would really like to see the casino, you know, be able to use the Casino Clash effects on any Ikitursa skin that I want. That would be my dream, but, you know, that's a dream. Either way, this one's fine. I feel like 320 plex is still a lot for it. It also, like, there's a green and a blue. It's very subtle. I'd rather they fix the combat music bug. Is there a new bug? I know that, like, my understanding is they fixed, like, the warping bug and the forever playing sounds bug, which is great. A lot of people would want to put the marker ticker on their ships. Yeah, that is a great skin. I do wish it was actual values, but, you know, whatever. And then there's two more. So just silver for 783. And something in Icelandic. Ooh, yeah, this is a good one. 6 billion ISK. No, all of these are like, one of the things that I'm seeing is that like all of these are stupidly overpriced compared to what it would take to actually build them. Combat music just glitches. How does it glitch? Does it like sound bad, or does it like... That looks really good though. This is probably one of my favorite ones. No spikes, no dice. Yeah. All right. That is enough of that. So, while we get into this, just plays for 1 second every like 30 seconds. That's terrible. I haven't heard that yet. I've been doing faction warfare. That works fine. All right. The sound, I mean. The music. Okay, we're going to jump into kind of the main topic of the day. I asked in chat and people said that they have... Oh, wait, before we jump into this topic, I do want to show off something that is unacceptable. So we've done... You know, we did the video where we talked about the compare tool. And of course, Sitonia helped us fix the compare tool for us. And I put out a shorter video that kind of explained how to get the most out of your compare tool. However, I'm back on the side of the compare tool is broken and is terrible and needs to be fixed. There is one minor thing about the compare tool that is, in my opinion, a critical defect. Okay, so if I go here and I look up my Abyssal stuff, now, normally what I like to do when I'm trying to figure out like which Abyssal mod is going to be best for me, what I'll often do, or like when I try to figure out like, okay, well, this Abyssal mod is rolled to this level. So I throw it in the compare tool and then see whether or not, oh, wow, this is like doing an officer level effect, or this is doing a faction level effect, or whatever, right? Well, if we go to the mod now, and I drag it into the compare tool, it just says extra large Abyssal Shield Booster cannot be compared. So they have broken the ability for your Abyssal mods to be added to the compare tool, which is honestly a very, very big deal to anyone who does do the Abyss, rolls mods, tries to have Abyssal mods, plays the game, you know, whatever, right? Like, you could theoretically go here and be like, okay, well, the shield bonus is 739, and then sort this and be like, okay, well, it's, okay, it's here. It's a GIST X type. But, like, that's dumb, especially since I can't compare. Now I have to go back and forth. It, like, completely defeats the compare tool. And the old compare tool absolutely allowed Abyssal mods. So I'm going to assume that this is we're going to go with bug, and needs to be fixed ASAP for the compare tool to be considered a functional tool again. The fact that you cannot compare Abyssal mods is a huge, like, unironically a huge problem. So there's that. Okay. And my ship viewer also always says that I have a ship unseen. Like your ship tree? There should be like a thing that says what ships have unlocked since the last time you've done it, I think, right? I don't know. Small compared to Star Citizen's problem at the moment. Well, I don't stream Star Citizen. I don't know anything about Star Citizen's problems. I can talk to you about EVE Online, Phasmophobia, and that horse racing game, Uma. Oh, I do also want to show off my, like, I've been working, like, I'm also build games, and I have a game on itch.io, and I was going to play a little bit of it today, if people are interested. But either way, if you want to check it out, based in Horse Girl Build. Okay, look, I actually have been delving in a lot of gacha games recently. It's just kind of been my hobby to be like a gacha game tourist. Wait, why did I do Peld? Hold on. There we go. There's my game. Uma is like probably the best quality gacha game I've ever played, by the way. So it caught my attention because it was so highly rated on Steam. And it's pretty crazy how like good and wholesome it is. Either way, not the point of the day. Today we are talking about exploration and industry balance rework. All right, so let's jump into this. This patch was done last week, but then they came out with this explanation and video with it. I have not yet watched this video like the other ones. I want to watch it with you guys and kind of give you my thoughts. And then we'll probably do a little bit of exploration too. So, exploring capsuleers. Over the past several months, we've been tackling the impact of capital ship demand on both the industrial economy and the exploration landscape. They have an event going on. Some of the freight elevators are broken, so you can't do the event missions. Perfect. With the 17th, well, EVE Online had the login servers broken for several hours and still made it so that you had to log in 7 days in a row in order to get all the rewards. So, nobody's perfect. With the July 17th Legion update, we took a targeted step towards addressing what we consider to be an important balance issue, the relationship between exploration sites, rare component acquisition, and the bottlenecks affecting capital and supercapital production. This isn't sweeping overhaul yet, but rather the focused intervention intended to smooth a few key pain points while opening the door for richer, more rewarding exploration experience. CCP is the most not perfect. We want to walk you through what changed and why we changed it, and what we're watching closely as things develop. Read below or watch CCP Swift's chatting about the changes with CCP Kestrel or CCP Ukami here. We're going to read it, and then we're going to listen to them. Capital bottlenecks. The capital production is one of New Eden's complex economic chains, and with that complexity comes pressure points, many of which are tied to solo explorers who supply critical inputs. To support both explorers and industrialists, we've revisited exploration site mechanics and increased drop rates, helping solo players earn more ISK while fueling the capital economy. I came back to EVE. Glad I did. Glad you did too. Make sure to use the buddy code if you haven't used it already. A key issue has been the inconsistent availability of capital control items, which are essential for capital ship construction. These components weren't entering the ecosystem at sufficient volume, especially at major destruction events like Dread Burls. These items are mainly sourced through exploration, and the feedback was clear. The sites weren't consistent enough relative to their rarity and difficulty. Some were too hard, some were too punishing, and in many cases, the risk-to-reward ratio was just didn't justify the trip. So we can see that, like, an avatar requires an enhanced Neuralink protection cell, which requires all of these things, which, like, and it kind of keeps going all the way to, like, a bunch of PI and minerals and R4 moon goo and fuel blocks and wormhole gas, more fuel blocks, other gas, low-sec gas for the racial type. Oh, I guess, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. And morphite, molecular condensers, and then over here where is it? There is an exploration item somewhere along this chain. Let's see. Oh no, enhanced electro-neural signaler. That's important. That's from exploration. Either way. Enhanced Neuralink protection cell, one of the major bottlenecks revisited. Neuralink protection cell. Enhanced Neuralink. Oh, right. That's all of it to go into that one. Our aim with this update is to reduce friction by acquiring these. They love this phrase now, both in acquiring these components and moving them back to market without eliminating the challenge entirely. Exploration sites and loot drop tuning. We've taken a fresh pass on covert research sites, ghost sites, which have long been one of the more intimidating forms of exploration content. The changes here were surgical. So the important thing here is, like, ghost sites were introduced in Rubicon as kind of this more dangerous exploration site. You can tell them because they have the word covert in their name, and when you get there, there's usually 4 cans equidistant in like a square, and usually one at the very top like a pyramid. Now, that one at the top like a pyramid was actually added in later during the industrial overhaul of like 2021, and that is where this this doodad is usually found. And it's like guaranteed in low sec, it's not guaranteed in high sec, and you know there's other things about it, but either way. The thing about covert research facilities is, or research sites, is that when you go there, it starts a timer as soon as you're decloaked. And then after a period of time, a bunch of rats show up. And then very, very, very shortly thereafter, the cans blow up. Like they try to blow up the cans. So you can get killed by the rats, you can get killed by the cans. And then, of course, also a lot of people, like when the rats show up, they panic and try to warp. And as soon as you warp, you fail the hack, and failing a hack also blows up the cans. And so that's how people lose their ships. So the ghost sites are a more dangerous version of an exploration site. Usually I recommend you just go in there, hack 1 can, hack 2 cans, and then get the hell out, you know, hack the top can and 1 other can, get the hell out. Some people bring scanners to be able to scan to see which cans have valuable loot in them. They can be extremely profitable sites for how big they are and how long they are. And some people will just get specially tanked ships that can just tank the explosions and just go in and do what they can. Yeah, Rush 4 with 1 billion in cargo. No. I do know, so like one time when my ex-wife, I finally got her to play for a little while, she jumped in an exploration ship, made it like 4 jumps in high sec, found a ghost site, hacked 2 cans, made 40 million, docked up and was like, I guess I'm done. And I'm like, God damn it. All right, fine. The can in the top does not explode. Yeah, the can at the top doesn't function in the same way as all the others. I guess that's a good point. So, yeah, so you would want to actually hack the cans that aren't the top ones and then hang out for the site to, like, finish, because the rats leave after a period of time, and then you just hack the top can. Yeah, that makes more sense. Either way. Well, yeah, you're usually what people do is they'll start hacking the can while they're scanning the other places. But yeah, you do have to get really good at hacking. Either way. So timer range tightened. Players should experience more consistency in site behavior with a tilt towards more time to complete them. So now you've got more time to finish your hacks and before the rats show up. Ghost sites remain risky, but payout is now more aligned with the hazard. So I guess they increase the rewards of ghost sites, I'm going to guess. Component volume reduced. Several capital control items such as life support backup units and power couplings have had their volumes reduced, allowing explorers to carry more in frigate-sized hulls. Let's go ahead and go to Hobo Leaks real quick. Check out when they did this. This would be on the 17th, right? Which would have been... This is it. So, yeah. Wait, yeah. So counter subversion sensor array goes to 2. Nanoscale filler plate goes to 1 from 5. Is that the only one? Wait, so the ones that they specifically listed are not the ones that they changed. Well done. Because life support backup units are a PI, or like that's an R4 reactable. You can try in your Cheetah with a Harada Oki skin. They're pretty cheap right now. Minefields and Aegis capital sites have been reduced for smoother navigation. Yeah, that's an advanced low-sec site with giant mines. The thrill of hacking a can and finding a big payday is infectious and a core part of the exploration. To facilitate more of this, we've also added capital control items as a rare bonus loot in all sleeper caches. Sleeper caches are some of the hardest, most complex, and most rewarding sites in the game. I do recommend you check out a guide on them, though, because they're very specific about how to do them. And if you do them wrong, they can be deadly. But also, you can just, like, miss out on the best loot if you don't know where to go or what to do. We've moved them so it's no longer solved. These refinements aim to ensure explorers can engage more directly with New Eden's high-tier economy. Okay, so then that's it for this covert stuff. Industrial tax relief, SCC surcharge cut. In parallel, we've made a precision adjustment to industry taxes, specifically targeting the SCC surcharge applied to Blueprint research. The SCC surcharge is now calculated at 50% of its baseline, which effectively reduces it from 4% to 2% for both material efficiency and time efficiency research. This is great. It's kind of a bandage. Like, it doesn't actually address what I would argue is the real problem, which is that, like, the values in which blueprints operate on are so old that some of them are confusing as to why they're so expensive to research. But overall, lower research costs is great. It's great. This makes R&D and blueprint scaling more accessible to solo, small group, and newer producers aiming to enter larger manufacturing workflows. While temporary, this change is part of a broader industry review to come. Well, yeah, I mean, like, taxes are an important part of how things work. But this makes it so that, like, newer players and newer industrialists can, like, get up to speed a lot cheaper than older players with big collections. I don't want to hear any bullshit, whatever. It's fine. You had plenty of time to make your money. Either way, iteration and feedback. These updates are part of an ongoing initiative to quickly iterate and meaningfully reacting to real-time data and feedback. This isn't all of the stuff, though. Let's see. We go to the patch notes. So the Go sites have been changed. And okay, so the chance for players to receive capital control items have been increased for lesser and standard covert research sites. Dented storage depots found in sleeper caches. Yeah. Okay, so this is the one that's got my attention. The Overmind Nursery Nest Wreck found in Pochven no longer drops enhanced electroneural signalers when salvaged, and now drops red loot instead. So that is actually pretty cool, for me at least. I find it kind of weird that, like, because these enhanced electroneural signalers were supposed to be, like, the problem is that there's not enough of them. And so they removed them from the site. Hold on. It have been removed from Override Nursery growth sites within Pochven and replaced with red loot of equivalent value. This component can still be found in other sites. I mean, I guess they're just making it so that it's in other sites. But the thing that's exciting to me about this is, like, getting things as an explorer, obviously. Like, finding cool stuff and lots of value is a big piece to this. But a lot of the stuff that you get in exploration has to then be sold, right? And so it isn't always quite as easy and direct to, like, turn your exploration into ISK. And this was very true in the Pochven sites, where, like, the main reward was these pieces that are used for capital production in a place that can't do capital production. So the fact that it's now been changed to red loot means that it could very well be that you can just go around Pochven and run these sites now and then just dock up and sell the red loot and make some good ISK. I think that that's a pretty cool idea, and that's one of the things I really want to try out today. In fact, that's probably what we're going to be doing today. Delivery jobs now include a warning if the job issuer is asking for a delivery in a location that they can't dock at. Now include a comparison between the set reward price and delivered item and average universal price. The SEC charges have been changed. Freelance jobs corrections. Fixed an issue where strip miner impact visual effects was clipping with asteroids. Fixed an issue where the orbit camera of the Barbaroga was misaligned. Fixed an issue with the Alliance emblem placement of the Lachesis hull was misplaced. Those sleepers on high-sec gates and stations can drop 8 million. The Autothisian Lancers? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like, they have blue loot in them, right? But they can summon the drifters, so watch out. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this video. Let me put on my... make sure the audio is working. See if they have any insights.
Hello, everyone. I am CCP Swift here. We've got an amazing dev chat ready for you. We've got CCP Okami and CCP Kestrel here to talk about the update that went out on the 17th.
Which rare drops? I assume, well, like, Antikythera elements, right? What else did they drop besides Blue Loot and Antikythera?
It's not like the biggest update in the world, but it is a very cool update, and it's going to have some pretty serious impacts across the game. But you don't want to hear from me about it. We've got the coolest people here. Game Director CCP Okami. How you doing, first of all?
Doing great. It's summer. Have lots of time to think. Designing the next expansion. Everything's awesome.
Hell yeah. CCP Kestrel, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Nice. It is really nice.
So this CCP Kestrel, you know, it's obviously CCP Okami. We've seen him quite a bit recently. That's fine. And then so he's like one of the main leaders of the game now, helping like design and balance the game. And you know, he's been kind of batting 1,000 all the way from the Revenant major update to now. He's been here for about a year now, but he's up to speed. Designing the next expansion would be nice to fully get this expansion. Well, hold on. So like that makes correct, Jeff, but you got to realize that like production is a workflow, right? So he's probably already working on setting, like they're already working chunks of the next thing, where the stuff that's coming in the next couple of months or weeks are more in a deeper level of production, right? Either way, so this other guy here is CCP Kestrel, who we know as Setonia.
To have you here on in our little podcast studio. We're in a little capsule, very happily just flying away through space. But so this update, players can see in the patch notes, a couple of things have changed. A lot of stuff that's kind of like exploration focused, some industry bottleneck focused stuff. Let's just start with, I guess, what's changing for the exploration content.
Sure.
Like go.
Sure.
Oh, and ESI. Like, don't get me wrong, Jeff. There's still like, remember, there's still a Legion major update that's coming. So
Yeah, I think that there's three sort of interrelated things. The industry changes and the exploration changes are kind of going together. Really, the big one is that we want to add a little bit more value into exploration itself. So we're thinking about our wormholers and our explorers and looking for more ways to make sites a little bit easier to complete, some of them that are too challenging that we felt like, and also just introducing better rewards and more different kinds of rewards to different types of sites. So maybe you can help me get into that in a little more details, but that's related to the industry stuff. I don't know if you want me to, should we go into that a little high level too?
Yeah, let's just do a high level recap of what's going on.
Sure.
How is this going to affect industry just in general?
Yeah, so at a high level, a capital ship manufacturing has a bottleneck that we're all pretty aware of, and that bottleneck tends to come from exploration.
by the way, there is one piece to this. He talks about how these are kind of interrelated. There is one other piece to this that I haven't mentioned and I didn't see mentioned in the dev blog or anything like that. They might talk about it later, but like the change to the researching will affect capital ships a lot, right? Like bigger capital ships and the pieces to make capital ships, the capital components and stuff. That's the stuff that costs the most to research. And actually, ironically enough, the research is not always very effective because of the way that capital production works with percentages. But, you know, even like the electro-neural signaler, if I remember correctly, is very expensive to buy and research. So the increasing the amount that these things are supplied in the game isn't the only way that they're helping out with production of capitals. They're also helping new capital producers get their researching done for cheaper.
So we're looking at sort of hitting this from two directions here, making exploration a little bit more streamlined and valuable by introducing these bottleneck components and just kind of turning them up a bit so they're a little easier to acquire, and therefore hopefully impacting capital ship manufacturing and bringing prices down a little more.
Right on. Yeah, we've seen in the last couple of weeks just a lot of dreadnoughts specifically dying, and just a lot of cap escalations happening.
Absolutely.
So it's always interesting to see how the market reacts when suddenly there's 1,000 dreads that we have to replace.
Yes. Yeah.
It's also a lot harder to track that because you don't sell dreads in JITA. So it's all secondary markets and contracts and, other things like that. So, replacing a dread isn't as simple as replacing your cruiser or your battleship.
For sure. And we want to make sure that we can feed that need, right?
Yeah, that's nice. So is feeding the destruction machine is always really cool because explosions are the best. But we can't have explosions without the industrialists, without the explorers finding these things. Right. So I'll throw it to you, CSB Kestrel. What sites are changing and kind of like how are they changing?
So the main focus on the sites that are changing are the ghost sites. So if you're not aware of them, they're called Garusta's Improved Covert Facility or something like that. You warp to them, and when you land in the site, there's a hidden timer that starts, and then you have around a few minutes to hack the cans. If you fail any of the cans, and they blow up, and they'll probably destroy your ship.
Yep, I've definitely experienced that. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the changes that's being made is we're kind of squishing.
Hold on. So they did actually make a trailer for ghost sites. So here we go. No, not ads. Not ads. Go away, ads. Wait, why is this not working? Hold on. There we go.
I got hostiles inbound. What's your status?
Establishing connection in 3, 2, and primary defenses are breached.
Attempting brute force on secondary. Keep them off me!
Capsuleers of New Eden. We are aware your scanners are detecting cosmic anomalies of an unknown nature.
Deploying sentry drones. That should keep them busy.
These anomalies originate from covert research facilities
I love the dropping
known
of
as
the
ghost
sentry
sites. They are run by hostile factions and pose a significant threat to the entirety of New Eden.
Battleships on grid. Time's up. We gotta go.
Negative. Just hold them off. I'm almost through.
The Empires demand full compliance with the following directive. Capsuleer access to these illicit facilities is strictly forbidden.
Taking heavy fire.
Unauthorized interactions will be considered a violation.
Almost there.
Shields are down. There's so much damage.
And should you fail to comply,
I'm in. I've never seen anything like this. Wait. No. Abort! Abort!
there will be consequences.
Great trailer. But yeah, so those are the sites that we're talking about. And the thing I like about this change with the idea that, like, the rats, if I understand correctly, this site is going to be a little bit closer to what we see in the video, where the rats will show up, and it doesn't mean that you have to immediately leave, or like they're about to immediately blow up the can.
The minimum and the maximum timers together a bit more on the minimum side of things. So now on average, you should have more time to complete them. They will still be random, but it's going to be a bit more consistent.
Okay, that's really cool. And if anyone's watched our Live to Feed episodes the last couple of weeks, we've been doing some exploration sites in Pochven, and CSB Zealous and CSBB we were in charge of our data and hacking. And let's just say if they were touching the ghost sites, we'd all be dead every single time.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is really cool. And I guess, so when you're out exploring as an explorer and you run across these sites, what were we seeing? Were just people just not running them? Or just like, if they weren't next to a good enough ship, they would have to just kind of skip them and try and come back later? Is that kind of what was happening?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of sites that were either too complex or too dangerous. People would skip certain sites or not want to participate in them. Some cases find them not valuable enough. And so this is just trying to like...
I can't believe that ghost sites are like sleeper caches. Definitely, like a lot of people avoid those because they're so complex and challenging. But like a ghost site, a lot of people do ghost sites. Some people might not, like if your loot is too much in your cargo hold or something, but I think that makes it an interesting decision.
Balance all those things to say like try them. It's fun and engaging and worth it. And the danger to value is better.
Nice. And I think there's also something in the patch notes about kind of jackpot sites. And just what is that like? What's changing there? What's gonna make some sites a little bit more valuable?
Yeah, so the components we're talking about for capital ship manufacturing, we are spreading out a little bit more broadly in these sites. For me, this actually came from a conversation I was having with one of our designers working on this. And
I mean, 14 million for a single can is still very good for an exploration site, but that is also very low for a ghost site. He must have just gotten pretty unlucky. Also, Erst is pretty well experienced, so yeah, there might be things beneath. I don't know, man. I mean, I appreciate them trying to add more stuff to it. One of the problems is that like as time goes on, because the things that are come out of them are stuff, right? Like as time goes on, there's more of those things. There's more ascendancy clone or implants and stuff like that in there. So the value of those ascendancy implants or the BPCs goes down over time. Same problem that we have in Pochven, right? So yeah.
I remember when I actually just got back into EVE, I was doing a ton of exploration, and I think one of the like solo exploration, one of the good things is like you do get these moments where you'll go out there and you'll spend a couple hours and you'll get just a great haul, right? And then other times you're just like it was nothing. But every once in a while I wished that I just felt like I got lucky more. Like I'd get a good haul, but I'd never get like, oh my god, like holy crap, like I didn't expect to get that, right? Get rich. So we're looking at trying to create more of those types of moments in some of the changes we're making.
Nice. And those always make for the best lost mails as well.
Yeah.
Because like
exactly.
I find it odd. So like they do this with Pochven, obviously, with the red loot, but like I think it's odd that they don't use commodities more. Like with ghost sites to make sure that they're valuable. Commodities, of course, have NPC buy orders, so you know, you could easily like ensure that just throw overseer effects in there.
Exactly.
You just got like a billionist call or something, and you're trying to come back home
like
to save all your stuff.
Hands are shaking.
Yeah.
Like,
Exploration IMO needs more visceral experience. Bring some frontiers into it, where you have to be on grid and look around the area. I mean, on the one hand, I do think it'd be cool for there to be more like complex exploration sites. On the other hand, like I work with a lot of newer players, and like exploration really does hit a nice sweet spot. I think it could grow out in complexity. I feel like there's a step between there's just a bunch of cans to hack and the complexity of a sleeper cache, where it may not necessarily be more dangerous, but it is more complicated. A good example, well, I guess it is a little bit dangerous, but like the exploration sites that were added as part of the Drifter Crisis, with all of the proximity alarms and stuff, right? Like that I thought was pretty good. Now, the fact that somebody could just warp in and screw it up for everybody and get everybody killed, very unfortunate, especially given how hyper-focused they were in specific systems. But I think that, yeah, more of that, where it's about your piloting or more about like discovery, it would also be cool, like, because exploration is all about like chance. So one of the other things I really like is the idea of the escalations in exploration sites in nullsec now in the with the arrays. That's pretty cool. We actually had a pretty new guy manage to get one of those escalations and managed to get a triplot, which he sold for a shit ton of money, and was like super pumped about it. But like, it'd be kind of cool if an exploration site was a bit closer to like a roguelite, where you show up and there's like gates, and you can only use gates, one gate at, like you can only use one gate or the other, and then it locks or something like that. And you have to like make decisions, and you can build up like maybe even have buffs that last for the duration of the site. And but the point is that like, so a good example of this is with in Final Fantasy XIV, they have treasure maps, right? Not quite like the Drifter, well, a little bit like the Drifter Maze, but like, so in Final Fantasy XIV, they have the treasure map. So you get a treasure map, and then that gives you a location in the universe or in the world. You have to physically go to that location. You have to like look at the map and then see where it is on the map, and then go there and then dig, and then you get the treasure chest. And then there's a fight that you have to do in order to open the treasure chest. And then there's a chance you can either open up the treasure chest and just get the stuff that's in it, or a portal appears, right? And some treasure maps guarantee the portal for the good ones. But then when you go into the treasure, so you can do some of the treasure maps as a solo person, but the portal is really designed for a group. And then, so if you go in, there's like a big encounter, and then every encounter you get loot. You sometimes get to choose like a random thing. It's like you pick high card, low card to see if the loot goes up. It's an all or like double or nothing kind of a deal. But then you go up to the gate, and the gate either slams shut or it opens. And if it opens, you get to go into the next room, and the next room, and the next room. So there's like 5 rooms total. So, you know, you might just get the treasure chest. You might just get the treasure chest in 1 room. You might get the treasure chest in 5 rooms. And each room has better and better stuff. So it doesn't have to always be like decision-based, but it would be kind of cool if the jackpots weren't just in the can, but in the site itself. You don't even need them to be escalations, just gates that do or do not unlock when the site is finished. So that way you can go into the next room and the next room and the next room. Escalations are cool too, don't get me wrong. But the idea that the sites themselves might be jackpotty, not just the individual cans, I think would be pretty cool.
Do I go through the wormhole? Like, yeah.
Just sweating bullets everywhere, hoping there's not a saber somewhere going for you, or like a heron that's always bait. Herons are always bait.
Always.
But one of the other things I saw was also kind of reducing the mass of some of the items in there. Did I get that right, CP Kestrel?
Yeah, 2 of the super capital bottleneck components are lowering in volume, so it'll be easier for you to carry them in your exploration ship. I think some of the feedback we got was like, I think one of the items was like 20 meters cubed. And when you have like only 180 meters cubed like space in your cheetah, not including everything else that you have, like it's actually quite a lot.
Yeah.
And then you have to like give up other loot that you've already got. So bringing it down a bit will make it a bit easier to like keep that in your cargo container.
Nice. And you can stay out a little bit longer too, I guess, and just kind of go hunting for the next one, just hoping you don't die in the process.
Yeah, I might have to get back out there. It's been a little while for me.
Yeah, and this is also like exploration has seen quite a few like little perks. Mm-hmm. Just with Legion, there was a Solve upgrade that added kind of new exploration sites.
Yeah, that's right.
Through space.
I do not understand. I cannot understand why the triplot is worth that much. Hold on, I gotta hop back into Jita real quick. We gotta look at this because the triplot is fucking crazy. Somebody please explain to me why. Well, no, I've had some people try to argue with me why the triplot is worth as much as it is now. So let's go look. So they added, one of the things they added in was the triplot, which is basically a It's an acquisition array. So there's a set of modules, one for each of the primary stats of scanning, right? One for scan deviation, one for scan strength, and one for scan speed. So the triplot puts all of those in one module. So you can see that if we go to variations, we can compare. We can see that, like, the scan acquisition array. Hold on. Scan pinpointing array, scan range finding array. Where's the only values that differ? Only values that differ. Got it. Okay, so the triplot scan acquisition array has the same, basically a Tech 1 scan acquisition array. So I think it's just the Tech 1 of all three, right? Yes. So we can bring in the range finding array. So we can remove. So we can see here that the triplot has the scan pinpointing array 1, the scan acquisition array 1, and the scan range finding array 1 effect all in one, right? Which is good. I accept that is a decent amount, but it's 400 million. Was there a war in Quirius lately? I'm not 100% sure. I don't, like, nullsec is, yeah. Either way, 400 million for the acquisition array. Okay, now, okay. This makes more sense. So it is starting to go down because it's starting to become supplied. But, like, who is putting... Can it be stacked? Ooh, okay. Hold on, let's see. And... Oh, wait, hold on. This isn't the one that can't be stacked. Scan acquisition array. Oh, nope. Can't be stacked. They both... Because they're both... I see. They're both acquisition arrays. Therefore, no, it cannot be stacked. Like, so I've been told that there's, like, T3 cruisers that combat probe that would really, really like to have, like, faster acquisition, stronger strength, less deviation, all at the same time with only one module. But boy, oh boy. So does looking at the patch notes help you with manufacturing? Maybe by Lounge to predict logistical bottlenecks in the market? Yeah, I mean, it can. It's all very speculative. But, like, one of the things... What you can do is you can be like, okay, well, this is the bottleneck. A really good example of this is things like pyrite, right? So as CCP was focused so much on nullsec ores and nullsec minerals, it was very obvious, like, as isogen and other, you know, things get, like, alleviated as bottlenecks and production goes up, increasingly pyrite became the bottleneck. So you can, like, there's always going to be a bottleneck, and that bottleneck will always be disproportionately valuable depending on how tight that bottleneck is. So keeping track of what they are doing, like, so by making these capital parts cheaper and easier to move around, they are in effect making everything else involving capitals slightly more expensive, because now people are going to be building more capital stuff. So all of that other stuff that's required to make capitals will be, there'll be more demand for it, right? Because it's all about supply and demand. So the bottleneck is going to be the thing that's being influenced by the demand the most. But that's a very dangerous route to go because you can try to predict what's going to be the next bottleneck and get absolutely burned on it. All right. Either way. So yeah, these things have gone... The price history of these... So they are going down, but man, I do not understand why somebody would spend even 250 million for one of these things. Like that, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the arrays broadly. I barely ever use them. Let's see, hold on, actually. Well, you only need level 3. So if you're low, that's the thing. Like, they're good for, like, compensating for low skills. But why is somebody with low skills running around with a 250 million-isk module in their exploration ship? That's wild to me. But whatever. That's a thing that exists. Alts. It's still wild, like, but again, where's their user case, right? Like, I don't know, man. I grew up without those mods at all, so I barely even think about it. George Costanza of industry make the opposite of what everybody else is making. Well, I mean, in essence, like, you can either outcompete people on the top thing or find the niche that people aren't doing, right? So one of the things I recommend doing, in a lot of times, is look for not the thing that is the most popular, but the second most popular, right? Like Sancha is one of the best places to do exploration, but that also, everybody knows that. So a lot of people do exploration in Sancha space. I think it's Garistus is like the second best. So often our guys recommend going to go do Garistus because it's almost as profitable as Sancha, but far less competitive. It's just a matter of whether or not, because industry especially is a highly competitive game. The other thing about it is that a lot of times with industry, it helps to just be patient, right? Like to have a small collection of stuff so that way you're ready when something happens, because the market moves quickly, Maybe there's an event that suddenly requires a bunch of Ospreys, and so the price of Osprey goes from like 11 million to 20 million. Like but everyone sees that at the same time. So you either have some ready to go, or you're competing with everyone else who's able to just print them out. So that's something to keep in mind. It's also why, like, secondary markets, like operating in a secondary market, like Dodixie or Renz or Amar, can be more valuable because you're not competing with as many people. You're able to find better niches for your production. When somebody buys the stack of stuff to relist them, you can fill the hole. Yeah. Like, we have a spreadsheet that keeps track of Dodixie to keep an eye on any holes that appear. To be fair, those skills take a month per to get to 5, so that makes your Tech 2 kind of pointless, since 5, you really don't need the bonus. Right, yes, exactly. Well, a lot of times, if you have the skills, you don't need the bonus. And if you need the bonus, you're stuck with the Tech 1. I don't know. Sister probes are definitely worth it. Sister probe launchers are luxury. The triplot scanner array, you better have a good reason for wanting to splurge like that.
Been like really, really popular. Always enjoy watching some of our streamers running it. Erst, in particular, has been trying to get an escalation from them, and he's pretty sure that somehow in there we've rigged it against him.
We did, like, just to be fair, we said if Erst,
just that one line of code. We can consider commenting that
confirmed.
Out later. Yeah. Right on. Okay, so CSB Kestrel, throwing it to you, like, now that we're going to have more of these components in space that explorers can kind of grab and bring home and even carry some more of, what is that going to address, and kind of like, why are we looking to address it?
Yeah, as CSP Alchemy mentioned earlier, it should mean that more of these items are making it to the market. That should mean there's a bigger supply, and it's going to relieve that bottleneck a little bit.
Okay, so that's for there are so many components
Yes.
that go into building capitals and super capitals. Back in my day, it was only tritanium, just the normal stuff. But of course, that's not balanced. Like we added some new levers in there to precisely control this.
I think we just call them those bottleneck guys.
Yeah,
in
just
design now.
Bottleneck
You know
guys.
what I'm talking about? The bottleneck guys. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they've got like a Neuralink protection cell cool thing.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, it goes in there. But essentially, it's just like the components that go into building caps and super caps.
That's right.
So, do you think that there's going to be? Well, I guess it's hard to predict what players are going to do. But do you expect it to like create more production in super caps, just reducing the price, or just maybe a combination of both?
Yeah, I think really, I'd love all of the above. I think, but really, we're hoping for a price reduction mainly. I think that's where we're going to start with this. And as always, as I always say to people, like we're not done. You know, this is an iterative process.
And this is one of the problems with this is that, like, it's very difficult for me personally to check if this price reduction is real, right? Like, we were able to go, oh, the triplot, I want to check its price right now, and I'm able to go check its price right now and its market value. But because capitals aren't sold in JITA or other major markets, it's much more difficult for me to verify, oh yeah, supers have gone down in price, because they're much more individually sold, privately sold, etc.
And I like to come back and look at this. Like, what does this need to go up more? Does it need to go down more? I think this is a good start. So let's see where things land in a few weeks or a month or two, and we'll make some decisions for there. But definitely trying to bring the prices down a bit.
Nice, and hopefully that means we'll see some more of them. We saw a couple like hints of them going out there. I know they got a little bit tankier in Legion, both with like the surgical strike stuff and just like HP stuff. And so hopefully seeing more of them means more of them are at risk, and
For sure.
crazy people just drop on them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love that type. I love explosions. Those are always my favorite, just to watch from a safe distance.
Yeah.
Moving on, there's also a change in there that's...
I mean, there's a couple problems with that. I'm sure there are. Like, we might be able to go, like, check Tama, for example, as a way of, like, checking prices for things. But you got to think about it, like, anybody who's selling a capital, like, if you just buy a capital in the market, you're identified as soon as you buy it. So it's actually very dangerous to buy a capital on the market, because you then have to move that capital, and whoever you sold it to you knows that you have it and are probably going to be trying to move it soon.
Kind of related, but not necessarily exactly related. The SCC change for... What does this even mean?
SCC surcharge. So there is a...
The SCC won't let me be, or let me be me.
A tax on industry right now, which is when you are doing research for material and time efficiency. This is currently mainly working against lower to mid-tier industrialists who are trying to break into doing bigger scale industry.
Yeah.
It's too expensive, and we know that. And really, the first thing I'll say is, like, I have a desire to do a bigger tax reform in EVE, and we want to get to a place where we can kind of visit that more holistically. So in the interim, though, we recognize that there's kind of an issue. So we've made a bit of a...
Is there anyone floating ideas about creating non-zero-sum conflict between alliances? I thought that was the point of skyhooks. I don't understand what you mean by that. Like, conflict is almost by definition zero-sum, right? Because in order for me to win, you have to lose. I'm not sure what it would even look like for there to be a non-zero-sum conflict between alliances. Like a challenge? Like a Empire game? I don't know. Hey, what's up, Rag?
Temporary fix. So applied to your research, the SEC surcharge will be reduced by 50%.
Okay.
For now. So that's only going to be applied to this. We're not going to do that to other places. And I just kind of want to get that out there, because there's not really a clean like UX of this as well. Like, you can't see it easily displayed in games. So we're going to rely on everybody kind of share this information and spread the word about it. But yeah, that tax is going to come down by 50%.
All right.
Specifically.
And so that is like, I think, Kestrel, you were saying like the biggest moment that people would probably see this is taking something from like ME9 to ME.
Okay, I guess non-zero sum would be resources located in neutral territory that you can't control but can be some money occupying it temporarily. So Pochven? Kinda? I mean, I have thought about like gold rushes, right? Well, I mean, that's the thing. But like making certain areas of space more valuable for a period of time. But like with enough organization, you can kind of control anywhere. So you kind of have to have that be a global thing. And even then it doesn't like create conflict. You could there's a couple of little arguments you can make, like metaliminal storms and stuff, but yeah, I definitely not skyhooks, because that's like I'm gaining resources and trying not to get you to seal it. It would be cooler for there to be like rare things that happen in NPC space, making certain NPC space more valuable for a period of time. But the problem is that like it's never fully neutral, right? Like even Zarzak, you know, because it's connected to Curse and Venal, like it was particularly handy for Fraternity because they happen to be living nearby. So it wouldn't be able to be a static thing, and whoever's closest to it, whoever has most access to it, is going to just be seen as the winner. I don't know. What if CCP added a bunch of systems scattered through known space that you'd have to use a Frontier-style drive to access? I mean, that's a whole new system. But again, like, the people with the most power, numbers, and organization will just be able to capitalize on it the best. I think escalations are probably the closest thing to that sort of thing. I don't know. Special site spawning.
B10, is that like about how that works?
Yeah, especially if you're doing a ship like the Orca or a Nyx, or you know, something that has like a really long time to go up and an expensive multiplier.
Okay.
So the actual taxes come down from 4% to 2%.
Yeah.
Nifty. Okay. Things are cheaper for research.
Yep.
Yeah, like you were saying, Okami, there's no like button that shows what the price is going to be for taking something from 0 to 10 or anything like that. A lot of people have to do some
I
crazy math.
You can see the SCC surcharge and where it comes from and what it is, but now we've like gone 50% on research. Mm-hmm. So there's like, that's not clear right now, but it's still a positive change and it's in there. So that's why spread the word.
Yeah. Awesome. Good stuff. Yeah. That'll definitely help people that are trying to like break into like just industry and manufacturing in general.
Definitely.
Because a lot of the older
Also, can I just say that this update would have been perfect for a New Eden news? You know, there's some like SCC stuff, there's some exploration stuff, ghost sites are involved. Like they could have had a New Eden news come out about this.
Players have
just
their
saying
blueprints from way back in the day that are already like at 10. They're pumping out copies, keeping them safe, not like consuming them in any way.
That's right. And also like shout out to our CSM homies who have been kind of championing this.
I mean, scope it requires a lot of work. But yes, that'd be cool too.
It's on the industry side of things because they've been really kind of pushing for us to try to make industry a thing that newer players can get into more easily. So this is just a small thing, but I think it'll help.
Yeah, right on. I do like this kind of series of small little iterative tweaks just to see what happens. And, you know, it's been a couple months now where you guys have just gone through and just said, oh, yeah, this isn't enough. We'll keep doing it. This might be too much. Let's see what happens.
Yep. Great example of that I'm going to call out. My last post on Discord was Pyrite. Like we put out a change. Is it doing what it's supposed to? So refine rates of Pyrite were improved, but Pyrite prices are still pretty high. So we might have to look at that again in a few weeks. So just that's an example of like, let's try something small. let's see what happens, and then we'll respond to that, and we'll just kind of keep that momentum up.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, if you aren't on the EVE Discord, you should stop by. You can mute every channel, but there are some really cool posts that you make pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Just like updates about the,
Just since he mentioned it, let's go ahead and keep an eye on this. Pyrite has failed to go down at all. Wow. Look at that. Well, all right then. Keep mining.
design philosophy, what you guys are thinking about doing, issues that have kind of popped up that we're really aware of. And yeah, this is actually, if you were on the EVE Discord and you read your Okami update, you would have heard about some of these like issues for these capital bottleneck components, whatever we want to.
I guess, Fleablock, my question would be like, how is that not ESS or Skyhooks, right? You mean with like some... I honestly, actually, the best version of that right now, Fleablock, is the new exploration sites, right? Because they can put up a sensor array that makes extra escalation sites or like extra exploration sites appear, and that they can escalate. But that means that as a nullsec explorer, as soon as you notice that you have those detected sites in your scans, that means you know that there's one of those arrays within, I think, 3 jumps or whatever, and it's like you've hit pay dirt. So an outside explorer can be like, hell yeah, and like get in there and start looting a bunch of those new exploration sites. Well, they're not new exploration sites. They're extra versions of the old exploration sites, but the escalations are new.
Call them.
That's right. Yeah, we actually, yeah, I mentioned that like it was like last week or
yeah, I think it was
2
last
weeks
week,
ago
yeah.
or something like that. And here they are. So,
nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And to mention, actually, I just put up another post a few days ago around ship balance. So in our major update coming up, we're going to take a big pass at ships, how they're balanced, take a look at the overall health and meta of the game. So I put a post out there. If you have feedback, if you have thoughts,
I'll be right back.
I would love to hear from it. I love to hear your thoughts, actually, and your thoughts, and all your thoughts. Actually, you're going to do it, so good luck. But yeah, is there something that's like that a ship you used to love that was awesome and it hasn't been awesome for like 10 years, or a meta that you know resonated with you at some point in time that you'd love to see come back, or there's just this one darn ship and you have to use it because it's the best thing, but you really don't like it and you wish something else was there. Like all of that matters. So please go take a look. And I'd love to hear that feedback.
Just a bit of a tangent. One of my favorite things about working at CCP is I just get to have lunch with a bunch of CCPers and devs. And every time I get to chat with CCP Kestrel, he just has this giga brain of like things that are need addressing, small tweaks that could make like certain ships that are underserved and like kind of crummy back to prominence. And he just has this like, I don't know what it is, Kestrel, but you have this like giant brain with just machines in there. I don't know. But you know, every ship and kind of the issues that players are facing. And I've also seen you super active in the Discord going through like these threads.
I would argue that CCP Kestrel is probably the single most knowledgeable person about the mechanics of EVE Online. It's wild how much he knows about this game. But I guess, so I wonder what sort of feedback I would give. Maybe the Fit Poll could use some love again? I don't know. Trying to think. So I think that the Corax struggles, the new pirate destroyers and battle cruisers kind of across the board are kind of mid, and it'd be nice to have the rest of the pirate battle cruisers and destroyers. The availability of the Deathless ships and the Edencom ships sucks. We've talked about that before, but yeah.
With Okami and a bunch of other designers. But yeah, it's just my nerd out of the day is geeking out about.
So to put you on the spot, if we could make one change for you, what would you like to see?
I've played EVE for so long, and I've gone through so many iterations of broken stuff.
Okay, so with exploration mechanic, is it possible for a fleet to make ISK without winning a battle per se, but just maintaining their presence in a system, long veto, make ISK before being wiped out? I mean, there are definitely exploration stuff that could be done cooperatively. They did try to make exploration more cooperative at one point by adding in, like, the spew containers, where you had to actually click on the stuff as it, like, you successfully hacked the can, and it would shoot out all these other mini cans, and you'd have to click on them. And you actually couldn't grab all of them. So you'd want to bring in, like, a second person to help grab stuff. But, like, that ended up being really boring for the second person most of the time. And so people just kind of didn't. The best example I can think of is, like, actually this Stratios here, where, like, oftentimes, or like in Pochven or whatever, you know, the idea of, like, a scout/explorer as one. So, you know, this Stratios was originally conceived to, like, go into winter event sites with people. So I can do the hacking sites, and, like, my fleet is doing the combat sites. But if I manage to grab somebody, or somebody manages to try to grab me, or whatever, my fleet can come and, like, fight. So, I don't know. I used to do combat yeah, a lot of people. There are definitely people that do, like, escalations in combat exploration in nullsec with, like, Black Ops and stuff. They'd have to make an Abyss exploration filament if they want to make a reliable group exploration. I mean, they made the exploration filament in for, like, for Doctor Who, and then later on for the SOCT event. But even that, like, exploration is at least with the mechanics that exist, a very solo activity, right? The person that's hacking the can is very much, like, in their own thing. I do like the idea that the ghost site would have, like, escalating rats. Like, in the video for the ghost site, for Rubicon, you know, there's the combat ship and there's the hacker. It would be actually pretty cool to see more of that happen. But, and some of the low-sec sites are kind of more cooperative. The drifter hives used to be cooperative because, well, I mean, they are cooperative, but, like, they used to require multiple teams because you had to hack multiple things at the same time. And I think that the Aegis site with the landmines do require 2 different cans to be hacked at the same time, which therefore necessitates 2 people. But, like, none of these become fantastically interesting solutions. So often I find that exploration is good as, like, a secondary task for a scout to be doing while supporting a fleet more broadly, if that makes sense. Problem with current mechanics is most people would just multi-box it. Well, I mean, anything that you try to make cooperative, people would just probably multi-box. A good example actually would be the home fronts, right? Because the home fronts require 4 different cans to be hacked at the same time. So that's 4 people hacking. That's not technically exploration in the same sort of sense, but it is hacking. Yeah, the other problem is, like I said, exploration and, like, the scanning minigame and the hacking minigame are actually in a pretty decent place right now. People really enjoy it. It's very successful. It's complex enough that it takes a little while for people to figure it out sometimes. There's things to learn about it, like the rule of 6, that aren't intuitive. But yeah, that's why I keep on thinking, like, the real answer is in the sites themselves, right? Another good example of them doing this is now in Pochven again. If you finish the site, like the smaller sites, a can appears that need to be hacked. So again, this is a matter of, like, it supports an explorer who is supporting a fleet. So you've got your combat fleet, and then you've got your scout. And your scout is able to, like, hack things and do stuff while they're scouting, while the fleet's, like, you know, getting work done. I think that's probably closer to what the way you would make cooperative exploration. But yeah.
Some of my favorite broken stuff happens to be with the Serpentis ships.
Okay.
And their Super Giga Ultra Web that just slows everything down.
Yeah.
I want a Catalyst with a web bonus, with a Serpentis web bonus. Come on, Serpentis Destroyer. Let's go.
And I just want to fly a Vindicator again. The
go.
Vindicators are cool. They're very
Vindicators
neat.
are cool.
But I mean, so that like I love that. I love that's valid. I just want to fly a Vindicator again. Like that is super valid feedback.
Yeah,
love
I couldn't
it.
tell you why.
Yeah.
Other than it looks super cool. It's got blasters. It's my favorite part of whenever like we do Alliance Tournament flagships. And CB Kestrel, you've been a commentator for a bunch of Alliance tournaments. Whenever we see a Vindicator flagship or just a Vindicator on field, it's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a small plug for the Alliance Tournament 21 coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to wait until we have like a Serpentis sponsored tournament, maybe next year, and just have reduced point Vindicators so everyone uses one.
Heck yeah, let's do it. Let's get CCB Zealous on the line and make sure that happens.
For sure.
Right on.
Well, so why we actually just had this conversation. Like an Algos could work, but the problem is that like if you think about the Serpentis line, it's all about powerful blasters to support the web bonus, right? So it just works a little bit better for the Catalyst. I would say you could do a unique model for sure. I'm just saying, like, basically a Catalyst with the Serpentis web bonus would be very good. Algos with a bonus to web drones, I would say that would be more like a Navy thing, right? Like there should be an Algos Navy issue because the Myrmidon Navy issue has web drone bonuses. Also, web drone bonuses are kind of bad, but I would argue that like the Algos should have a Navy version and the Catalyst should have a Serpentis version.
So I think there might have been some other things with the patch. I know there's some improvements for the deliver items. Have you guys been seeing like players making really cool jobs or freelance jobs using deliver items, or heard anything about it?
Yeah, so I've only just taken a look at the data, and deliver items are like the most made freelance job now. So like undoubtedly everybody was waiting for this, wanted it, and they're using it. So that's fantastic.
Web drones need to be faster.
Nice.
And yeah, there's definitely
Or have
fixes
longer
coming
range
this-
on their effect.
this patch and ongoing for any of the little issues that linger.
Yeah, Eve players are great at breaking stuff. So every time they break stuff, just someone has to go in and fix it up a little bit, make sure it's working as it should. Right on, guys. Well, it was amazing chatting with you. We should do this way more often. I love just sitting here, like nerding out about Eve, talking about things that are upcoming. Any last words that you guys want to chime in?
We've still got
Aye and goodbye.
2 minutes.
No,
Let's make that our official tagline. Aye and goodbye. Let's go for it.
if anybody gets that reference, let me know. Let me know.
I do not.
That's from something very, very, very hyper specific. So
You should hop onto the Eve Discord and ping CCBO Comedy about it. CCB Kestrel, how about you?
Yeah, one thing that we forgot to mention was that I think in one of the Aegis sites where some of these capital components come from, we reduced the number of mines in the site, so it should be a bit easier.
ECM drones are critical to the Griffin Navy issue. Overall, though, I kind of agree. I don't know. I think ECM drones definitely have their place. They are the chaff. They are the defense. But yeah.
To like navigate through the minefields now.
That is so nice. I have tried to run those sites, I think 3 or 4 times, and they're so intimidating because you have these like circles that you're like, oh, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Nice. And I think also there was one component removed from the Pochven sites that got redistributed kind of everywhere else because there was Pochven sites are still gonna have the same value, right?
that's right. Yeah, actually, just to jump on that one real quick, it's more about like making sure the right things are coming from the right places. So our goal and our intention was for the capital ship manufacturing stuff to come from wormholes, and we discovered in our balancing process that there were a bunch of them coming from a specific site in Pochven. So we decided to take those, put them in wormholes, and replace that with other red loot in Pochven.
Okay, so the sites will
so that's why they moved it to the wormhole sites.
still be like super valuable.
They'll still be valuable, yeah.
But there'll just be more of those bottleneck component-y thingies just available, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and it should actually make that that specific component increase in value a bit. Because right now that one's like, I think it's around like 20 to 30 million, whereas all of the other ones are worth like several, like 100 million. And it kind of, sucks if you get that one out of the 5 when you get your loot.
Yeah, we were talking about jackpot. That's the opposite jackpot. That's that's the RNG fairy being like, no, you did bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right on. Well, I really like the just seeing more explorers out in space. It's so fascinating to just see people going out of their comfort zone a little bit, going like, oh, maybe I'll go to low sec for this one. Maybe I'll take a filament and go to null sec for this one. So giving these play styles a little bit more attention. Always appreciated.
And happy hunting for everyone else waiting for them.
Exactly. Happy hunting. Well, again, thank you guys so much, CZB Okami, CZB Kestrel, for sitting down with us and chatting.
All right, so that's good. So we have exploration stuff. Let's go ahead and hold on a second. Let me first of all see. Do I have an Astero anywhere nearby? I hate that the Astero just pulls up every asteroid you also have. I do have one in Jita. Let's just go to Dodixie. Wait, hold on. Actually, I might have the stuff here. Let's see. Filament. So, oh, sweet. I've got plenty of filaments. Border. Home. All right. So we're going to go into Pochven and see if we can find a rogue drone site. Do I need salvaging in order to do rogue drone sites? What do I need to do the rogue drone sites in Pochven? What are those? Let's see. Eve, Online, Overmind, Nest, Pochven. Overmind, Nursery, Groves. Okay. Land in different frigates, auto aggro on landing, the overrun over large collidable subject, blah blah blah. However, they're blah blah blah. In this case, you'll want to fight the swarm. They deal 400 DPS in omni damage. Okay. And have an individual signature radius of 45. The nest itself is 500 structure HP. The wreck needs to be salvaged in order to collect the loot. Okay. How hard is the salvaging? So is there no hacking? Is there no hacking at all? I guess not. Okay, so I need a salvager on here. Shoot. I don't have my mods here. No! All right, hold on. All right, let's just go get it. I have my filaments, right? Yep, let's go. So we're going to go into Pochven. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Yeah. No, we want to go. We're going to go to Pochven. Do I want a Tech 2 Repper? Instead of an ancillary. Probably, right? Because I'll probably need to tank the rats for longer than... Or, like, I'll probably need to run the Repper to tank the rats. So I'll want to be more sustainable, not bursty. This was, again, like, the point of this was to grab and hold somebody long enough for a fleet to show up. So I'm kind of adjusting it for a new purpose. I love how bright they made the... Oh, shoot. Hold on. I love how bright... Oh? I love how bright they made the yellow of the highlight. People are interested in checking this out, right? Otherwise, I can just head out. It's been a 2-hour stream. So yes, no. You guys are interested in seeing me do the Pochven sites with the Astero? Or with the, sorry, the Stratios? Probably definitely not the right ship for it. I think I'd probably prefer an Astero over it. If I had to. Or like if I, you know, wanted to. But like, here we go. Definitely, if I wanted to go with this fit, or with this ship, I'd probably change the fit quite a bit. You know, micro warp drive's probably better. There's a lot of things that would make it better, but this also is more sustainable, and who knows, maybe we'll get some action while we're in Pochven. Let's see. Medium armor repper. Dang it. All right, hold on. Medium abyssal. These are all ancillary. Do I really not have any? All right. God damn it. Five packaged. All right. Medium armor. That's fair. Well, let's go be expensive. Let's go be, make this more expensive, shall we? We will see if it's worth clipping. We will find out.
Docking permission requested.
And yes, if you can, consider supporting the stream. It is summer. The numbers are down. It'd be very, very useful and helpful.
Docking request accepted.
Daily tablets are ritual complete. What is your daily tablets? Is scanning it all down or what? All right. Oh yeah. Hey, what's up, Aikawarazu? How's it going? All right. So now my ship's more expensive. Should be cap stable. Yeah, it's cap stable with 1 nuke going. So that's good. And I have 50 armor per second, but my resistances are 75%, except for explosives. So I'm going to be taking a quarter of the damage. So that's 200. Yeah, I mean, that should be fine. Should be fine. Let's go find out. All right, I do have a data scanner, data analyzer, and a relic analyzer, and a mobile depot just in case. But it said it just needs a salvager, which I have right here. So we're going to do what we can. The sites have gates, so it should be fairly safe once you're inside. We'll find out. The ship I am using, does having prior experience with opaque RPGs make it EVE easier to learn? Because at an abstract meta level, you know what you don't know. EVE is its own beast. I mean, on the one hand, knowing other games doesn't necessarily make you easier or better at EVE Online. But a lot of the skills that make you good at EVE Online are real life skills, like understanding market forces, social things, et cetera, et cetera. I would say that it makes you better to learn EVE Online because you're more prepared to put in the work. You know? Turn off my safety. Activate the filament. I must be in a fleet. Form fleet with. Now I've just got to wait for my timer. I can close that. Here we go, 27 seconds. Pochven is, of course, the 27 systems taken by the Triglavian Collective during the invasions. How mad would you be if your ship just exploded instead of jumping into Pochven? I mean, I'd be pretty mad. That'd be pretty dumb. All right. We have signatures. Also, nothing here. We're next to Door to Vale, which is kind of hot. Is Pirate Software Maldavius? Yes, that is correct. Maldavius is Pirate Software. You can go watch my interview with him. I have very little good to say about him, and I have had very little good to say about him for quite some time. It is always fun to watch people that have tried to, like, ruin you and be a shitbag, like, explode violently in the public space. I've been having a good time. So what, in your opinion, what? Observatory infiltration? Ooh, that's the hacking one. Crashnax was mocking his killboard the other day. He's a tool, man. Like, he tried to ruin my reputation pretty good. He spread a bunch of lies. He's basically the reason why Strybog doesn't like me. Accused me of all kinds of weird stuff because, like, he wanted to be the Triglavian streamer / game developer And unfortunately, I already existed, so he like had to ruin my reputation in order to gain his own. But like, he was extremely efficient at pissing people off. There's a deep flow rift. Okay. You know, Pochven is a lot more interesting for exploration than it used to be. But then when the gates opened to a special space he couldn't handle being invaded. Man. The dude couldn't handle a lot of things. So, at the very beginning of invasions, there was a problem because there were a few people, there's a small group of like 4 or 5 trans people. There's a lot of trans people within the RP community in particular. And so they got upset because of some of the comments that was made by one of the FCs at the time, who was not an American. English wasn't his first language. And so, like, after the fleet, we had this meeting of, like, a lot of the leaders to kind of hash this out. And we actually got to the point where she kind of accepted the fact that the guy didn't know any better and didn't mean what he seemed to be saying, that it was a miscommunication because he's not used to dealing with people like that. And so, you know, it was an informative time for him, and everything was fine. And we actually had the problem resolved. And I don't even remember exactly what Maldavius said, but Maldavius started talking, and by the end of that conversation, those they hated him. And that's what created like this big division in the Triglavian collective during that time. And they ended up, like, because some people defected from Maldavius and stole their Fortizar, they ended up with it. So right before Pochven happened, I actually negotiated with them to get them to hand it back to Maldavius, so that way they would have their Fortizar, because we didn't know exactly what was going to happen with everything. So we wanted to be able to secure as much as we could, and they did. And then Maldavius still fucking screwed me over. So helped him twice. He was a shitbag to me. What is the most interesting metagame innovation in EVE history? I don't know. I guess I would have to say, like, the... Oh god, what was it called? The first one. The Guiding Hand Social Club, right? The idea that they used their positions in order to gain, like, trust within the organization, and then use that trust against the organization to tear it apart, was a big deal. And the fact that CCP let it happen was game defining. Oh, good. Malin got you taken care of? Excellent. Perfect. Okay, so there is this observatory infiltration site, but that is not what we're here to do. Oh yeah, because that's D-scan. Imicus. There's the anchorage, which still does nothing, with a third gate that still goes nowhere. Just throwing this out from the past in terms of particle effects on skins, a collab with Neutron movie with trails on ships. Man, the fact that the summer, like the summer thing that they did showed like the special trails of the effect, not like as a skin, but as like a actual trail behind it. Like, come on, man. That looks great. We should actually have that. We have a Synesis. We have a way out, probably. And what is this? Another wormhole. Odd. I'm still going to finish scanning it down just so it's still here. Hopefully my game doesn't crash or something. But it is... which one is... Hold on. Archie is the home system, right? That's the one I was just in? Yeah. Nothing good in the Mignon? Well, look. You, okay. You're cheating. Cerberuses and Jackdaws and Loki. Tax evasion. If I understand correctly, the Cerberuses are now what they're using in the Dread site? What set are you looking for? I'm looking for Rogue Drone Nursery. Overmind Nursery Nest, I think it is. Overmind Nursery Grove. Gloria. Alright, I'll check this out and then we'll head over there. See, you can do tandem exploration. Wormhole, wormhole. Since I'd already scanned up there, I think it's going to be more down here, so I put the probes down at the bottom of the hole, of the sphere. Yep, there it is. Deep flow rift. Boo. Man, yeah, it would actually be pretty cool to bring like an Astero or something with a bunch of you could do the tractor beams, you can do the salvager. You'd have to probably swap stuff out. You can always dock up to swap stuff out in most systems. I think Pochven exploration is totally a thing now, which is kind of cool. I mean, like they've been working on it for a little while. Okay. We'll just head there. See what happens. Now people know where we're going, so Maybe I'll get killed. Which one of the 35 of you are currently hunting me down? That's what I want to know. Mignon is within range, and I don't see a bubble, so should be fine. I do love Pochven so much. Tristan. Not scary. Vigilance point. Wonder if anybody runs those. What is it that I specifically like about it? It's pretty. It's spooky. It's got some good utility value to it. It's got it's an interesting area of space that isn't like that is actually like its own area of space as opposed to like a wormhole, which are usually only like individual systems. But it's pretty. It's very pretty. All right, let's scan. I like it. I like it because like it is a bunch of systems, but each system is interesting in its own unique ways, right? Like based on whether or not it's a home system or a border system or has stations or doesn't have stations or, you know, has landmarks. Everything, and the fact that you can't put any more structures down, you can't build any more capitals, but there are capitals and there are structures. It makes it so that like Pochven just is like an ongoing story, right? People talk about like, oh, you know, someday all the structures will be destroyed. It's like, yeah, but there's like a whole journey to get there. And that's meaningful. And it's also like a great place for just content, right? If you want to just go and scrap it up with some people in a fleet, just go to Pochven. You'll almost certainly find people to scrap it up with. All right. We're going to scan down the rest of the sites just in case. Give us a little bit more time to figure out what's going on here. It would be nice if a corporate alliance with 10 standings with Trig Lade could put down a structure. I disagree. I think that the other direction, you should go the other direction where, like, with enough standings, being able to operate out of the Triglavian structures should be as equivalent of, like, player structures. Because I like the idea that you are living in their facilities. Do you think CCP has plans for when all the structures are gone, something special? Well, I mean, I like to joke around about the fact that, like, the reason why Pochven hasn't progressed, you know, they keep on saying that the stabilization of Pochven continues. I like to say that the stabilization is the structures are causing a problem, and so Pochven can't progress until all of the structures are destroyed. Now, that is my propaganda, or, you know, that's me trying to say that because I want to get structures blown up. But, like, at the very least, what I would say is it would be an opportunity for them to do something with it. But more importantly, I think that it's just the is this like the new Thera? Kinda. I think that the biggest thing about it is that it's less that, like, they wanted people, like, all the structures, like, to be blown up, or, like, the idea was is that in order for the stations in Pochven to be meaningful, like, structures kind of undermine the value of the Triglavians' owned stations, and therefore kind of undermine the value of the standings that you can have with the Triglavians. So I think that Pochven always had, like, the design of not having structures, but the question was what to do with the ones that were already there. And I think that they just decided to let the story play out, right? Ooh. There's 2. All right. Let's go. See? Look at that star. Holy shit, that's pretty. There's the transmuter. It's nice that it's not blinding, yeah. So I normally warp to gates at 10 just out of hobby, or habit, rather. This one, that was probably a mistake, so I'm just going to warp to the other one at 0. But I haven't played it in years, and my sister wants to try. Have you heard of an old game called EVE Online? Maybe. Make sure to get a buddy code. That 1,000,000 free skill points. That's a good one. Now's a great time to start, honestly. Now's a great time to come back, too. Yeah, see, I still land like 10 kilometers from it even when I warp to 0. Alright, let's just get going. I'm old school T-grads, it's been a long time. Oof. Well, you know. Okay, so this room, I don't need to kill anything. I just tank it all out, right? If I remember correctly, I don't need to kill any of the rats in here. It's just a matter of surviving. But, hold on. Hobgoblins. Let's go ahead and kill them still. Oh, shit. Why is there a buzzard on D-scan? Hold on. Why is there a buzzard close to me already? God damn it. That's fine. What is a buzzard going to do? I can kill a buzzard before anything else shows up. I can nude out a buzzard before anything else shows up. That means he might have them pre-scanned down. Damn it. You're gonna get me killed, aren't you? They aren't actually attacking me? Alright, drones in. You don't actually want to start in soft null, in my opinion. Okay. Overmind Nursery Nest. That's what we're going for. These guys are attacking me. But are way too far away from me. There's more. Okay, so there's the rogue drones over there, but the thing I'm going after is over here. More? That sure is a lot of them if they manage to catch me. Shit, there's that buzzard. But not at one. Let's go with ogres. Oh, these things are starting to get to me. Can I kill him? My ogres are missing them. Okay. Go with hobgoblins. All right. Oh yeah, this kills him fine. But am I tanking them? I'm not quite tanking them, so let's go ahead and kill some of them. Let's see. I mean, they kill him fast enough. I'll just let my drones do the work now while I fly around. A faster ship would be better because I'd be able to like dodge a lot of these guys, probably. But it looks like we're taking him down. We're stabilizing. Yeah, let's go ahead and kill the nest now. All right, and that got rid of all of the... Yeah, the drones stopped attacking me at that point. So now I go and salvage this thing. And I get 26 million ISK. Okay. And again, like, I can take this and I can immediately sell it in the store there. I wonder if my chat channel is still alive. Anyone feel like doing me a favor for no real reason? Maybe? I mean, that worked. For sure. Go ahead and move these drones into light. We can move the Warrior 2s in there too, even though they're not thermal. And we can do like ogres as like heavy. These can go into salvage. This is pretty okay. Again, I think that you could probably get away with it with an Astero. Probably. Definitely if I was like faster, like if I had a micro warp drive, I'd probably be able to get it all done before the rats even got me. Them Cloaker weirdos. Just me and Malin. It's got links and stuff though. Fits. Yeah, Clear Skies is a great series. They're working on the 4th one now. $26 million for one of these sites is not terrible, especially since you can do the other stuff too. I'd be a little bit more sketched out at like some of the other sites that are, well, especially like the Deep Flow Rift, because like the Deep Flow Rift doesn't have a gate. I do have a video called Returning to Eve, Watch This First. I strongly recommend you watching it. And again, like, real talk, you can use the buddy link. There should be a link down below, or I can put it in chat. Hold on. That will give you 1 million skill points. It doesn't matter if how old your account is or whatever. If you've never used it before, then you can get 1 million free skill points. So can all of your characters and stuff like that. Like you can do it once per account. You can also, yeah, go ahead and head on over to the COE Discord. We'll help you out. We're here to maximize player engagement with EVE Online. Happy to have you. We do mining and missioning and faction warfare and thing called Home Fronts, which is like a cooperative PvE thing. We kind of do it all. Except for Sov. We don't really do Sov yet. Hey, I got my Air Daily Gold done. Industry and Market PvP, yeah, that's true. We are working on the Dodixie Market, so you should be able to go to Dodixie for all of your purchasing needs. If you have any problems with the Dodixie Market, bitch at Malin, he'll get it solved. Up until about 6 years ago. Well, I mean, there's... That means you've probably never even heard of the Triglavians, which is a whole separate race. I mean, like, this whole system is new to you. I mean, like, the system itself actually was a normal system, but then we fought over it and we took it for the Triglavian Collective, and now it's theirs. Oh yeah, this is cake. Ikoria's loss was annoying. Sorry, not sorry. I was not personally responsible with Ikoria, I can tell you that. And Astero. Man, I can kill all the rogue drones before I even get to the thing. Atron. Well, time for me to get this done quicker. Oh, is that you? Well, then whose probes are those? What's happening? Okay, it's you. Not your probes. All right. This is saying that I'm having some issues streaming? Am I coming through to everybody okay? They're going to show up here just too late, probably. Looks fine on your end? Okay, great. Yeah, it's saying YouTube is not receiving enough video. I don't know. I think YouTube is just trying to distract me. Salvage this little dude. And another 22 million. So 40 million in a single like site or like a system with 2 sites in it. Not bad. And what's cool about that is that, check this out. So now, unlike before where I would have to like go and bring that to market, I can now just take this to this station. What's good chill-esque farming these days? Abyss is really great. I love the Abyss. It's an instance 3-room semi-randomized dungeon where you can use cruisers, destroyers, or frigates. And it's escalating difficulty from 0 to 6. I've made several videos. We did an Abyss week not too long ago where I showed off 5 different Abyss fits. Running sites for escalations is still perfectly great.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
So now I should be able to just take this stuff. Hela or Serb or Onyx. Hela is definitely great. Serb is definitely great. Onyx works. The Abyss week was Cerberus, I think it was a Vagabond, right? A Stormbringer, which is the ship that you've probably never heard of. The Ikitursa, which is probably a ship you've never heard of. And the Gila. The Gila is kind of the de facto king of the Abyss. So if I go here and just sell immediate, I get... Wait, hold on. That's not right. Hold on. So where do I sell these? Do I have to sell them outside of... Do I have to sell them to Concord? That's unfortunate. So do Triglavians don't buy Triglavian survey database data sheets? It does get used in the loyalty point store, right? No, that's interstellar navigation logs. Huh. Okay. Well, then let's go ahead and keep going. That's not quite as simple as I would have liked it, but, you know. You can hand them to Svarog using a mission. Oh, yeah. We were talking... Are you the guy that does the missions? I was showing this off earlier. So there's a thing called freelancer jobs now where people can put up opportunities for people to do. And we have these freelance Pochven jobs available. Let's see. But we're going to try to get out of here. I did join 3 months in training for those chain lightning ships. The frigate, like the one that really stands out is the cruiser. The Stormbringer is extremely good at the Abyss. The rest of them, like, otherwise, the ships are incredibly lackluster, especially for their cost. It's okay. We're just gonna... I'm gonna go out, try to figure out how to sell them, and then probably wrap things up for the night. Hella missions for years. You can do normal missions. Oh, no. These freelancer projects, like, people can put up any freelancer project that they want. So, like, they can make freelancer projects for you to go mine. You can turn in stuff. This is, like, the newest thing. They're still relatively small in scope, but, like, one of the good ones is, like, faction warfare groups can pay you extra money to go and run faction warfare sites for them in specific systems. Nanoscale filter plate, nanoregulation plate from a can. That sounds good. Hey, man. No, questions are great. Yeah, time to head home. That's true. Yeah, old NPC missions still exist. They're still just as good as they used to be. And Marauders now dunk them. So I'm going to create my landing pounds as soon as I get to under 10,000 kilometers. This is the wrong one. I can tell because it's got Faded Hypnosium, so this is going to go to nullsec. That buzzard is now a wreck. Nice. Oh, shit. Please don't kill me. Yay. So I just warped in. I made a landing pounce as I landed. I can see that there's Republic fleet, so this is the correct one. And now I've bookmarked the actual wormhole itself. And I can warp to it directly and then jump through. And then I'll be somewhere near Dodixie. And then we can go to probably Uli and sell my shit. Oh, I can do the Sister of Eve chain again. Yes. You can do that every 3 months, I want to say. Where do we end up? Cat! Hell yeah. All right. So, hey, look, there's a Proteus and a Kronos here. I can start salvaging their stuff. Steal their money. That's a lot of... Why is it that when I'm not ready to steal their stuff, we get these juicy, juicy fields of Rex? So annoying. So annoying. All right. Uli. Hey, man. I can't... I recommend it, but, you know... Also, they have 2 tractor units. That's not a good idea. Don't do that. But, like, the Abyss is really cool, for the record. If you've never done the Abyss before, it's really fun. Especially if you get one of the more interesting ships. Like, the Gila kind of flies itself, obviously. But there's actually been some pretty big changes in nullsec, too, so it's been pretty exciting to be a nullsecker as well. I'm not into that kind of thing. Abyss is something... Yeah, that's true. You can... So, like, you can do dual frigate. Well, you can use up to 3 frigates or 2 destroyers. But I will say that, like, honestly, frigates are usually better for the Abyss than destroyers. Who does a good Eve News channel? I've got 2 weeks before my sister's going to join. I mean, I cover most of the news about, like, the changes and stuff. Like, you can go check out... I've got hundreds of videos... Almost 1,000 videos at this point. Both guides and, like, daily news shows. I mean, or, yeah, whatever. Not daily, but, you know. Often several times a week. I don't know if there's anybody closely following the current war. If anybody has any recommendations. Hey, thank you for that. Becoming a member. That's a great thing to do. You get all those emotes and edited videos early. But yeah, go ahead and head into the Discord and we can get you helped out. Mike Azariah, that's true. He's not like as regular and he's not necessarily following like nullsec politics or whatever, but he's a very smart dude. And he has his news and weather show. But you're welcome to come here and ask questions and hang out and learn stuff. That's what I'm here for. Wait. 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 Oh no! I left the loot in there! I'm so dumb. Ah. Some things never change. Drakes are actually pretty good. Really? Hold All right, hold on. Let me just double check. Yep, there they are. Fucking A. Well, we can still check. Yep, there they are. So I can just turn them in to buy orders here for 100,000 ISK apiece if I had them. So there you go. No, I did loot it. I took it out of my cargo bay in order to try to sell it in the station. And then for the overgrowth nursery, do you have to clear the second pocket or can you ninja salvage? You don't have to kill a single rat. The only thing you have to do is destroy that nursery, the actual nursery. And when you destroy it, all of the other rats disengage. So if you can get there and blow it up before the rats get to you, you just get it for free, basically. Like, I did it the slow way, but you can do it much faster than that. So, reminds me of when I took a screenshot of an A-type afterburner in a microwave drive that dropped and then warped off without looting it. Oh, no! At least it's him. No, it's still here. Whatever. I'll just go get it sometime. It's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine. All right. Well, I think that should just about wrap it up. I have been Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put even to context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, saying hi, all of your questions. It's been a pretty good time. We talked about the new exploration changes and some of the new Plex packs. Oh, right. One last thing. I do want to show off. Anybody want to check out my new game? Or not my new game, but my game, Playton? Anybody want to see my game? Before we wrap things up? Is that okay? I know it's not Eve. Hold on. Let me get things situated. So this game is called Playton. It's available on itch.io for free. It does like ask you how much you want to pay. Just say 0. It's fine if you want. But here we go. Oh, I didn't have my camera. Hold on. It's loud. All right. Where's my webcam? Okay. So I made this game from scratch. It's called Playton. It's a puzzle game where you match the elements together. So when I shoot, if I hit the same element that is my element, then it destroys it and keeps going. If it hits a different element, then they swap. Okay? You'll figure it out.
Level 1.
See? So I can swap them, or I can destroy them like that, right? But if I get 3 in a row, then I get something special. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's not it. I want to get 3 in a row. 'Cause that's how you build the Metatron cube. Hey, it's just not being nice to me.
Level 2.
Oh, hold on. There. So now I can get a Metatron's cube. And now when I hit the Metatron's cube, it'll destroy all copies of that same thing. So I want to get yellow. and then blow up all the yellows at the same time. Boom! Yay! Now I can go like that, and then grab that, and then destroy that, and then grab red, and get a Metatron's cube. It's actually good to build up Metatron's cubes, so that way you can blow up a bunch of stuff all at once. When it's like when it's going really fast. Because I think it's after level 3 it slows down again because it introduces a new element.
Level 4.
Grab that. There we go. So now we have the new element, which is green. Oops, I just wasted a Metatron's cube. Derp-a-derp-a-derp. It's been a while since I played this game. I built it in Unity. I'm pretty sure I made everything from scratch. Well, I mean, not the music, obviously. Trust me, my code is not going to be made fun of nearly as much as certain other game developers.
6.
Shoot. I need blue. There's blue. So the maximum level is level 9.
Level 7.
Once you get to level 9, everything kind of just goes crazy until you lose. So now I'm in level 7, which means I get the 5th element. Sorry, I'm not paying
Level
attention
8.
to chat because I am focused. I'd like to at least get to level 9. I should. Maybe. Well, I am starting to panic a little bit, which isn't great. Not a good thing to do. Definitely don't want to do that. Oh! Ah, shit. Boom. Haha. If I can at least get to level 9, I'll be happy.
Level 9.
There we go. Okay, so now, basically the game just keeps getting faster and faster and crazier until you lose. And also there's like chromatic aberration and just like the whole thing goes wild. Movement goes faster too, so it's harder to control. It's just designed to make it so that like eventually you lose. Flew. There we go. Whew. See, it's starting to get like, it's starting to get kind of nuts. Ah! All right. Well, there you go. There's my high score. Boom. There you go. If you want to check this out, like I said, you can pick it up on itch.io for free. I am interested in making some more games and stuff, so let me know if this kind of stuff interests you. For the Overgrowth Nursery, do you have to... Okay, nope. You still hear the channel as Oz Eve? That's true. Oz is actually a really good channel to stay caught up with. Whatever happened to that Unity nonsense, they walked a lot of it back. All right. Well, I'm an Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game, well, playing Eve since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put Eve into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for coming, hanging out, all that stuff. Special thanks to my top-tier supporters, 745 MPSI, Arydanika the Queen, Bad Boy Smooth, Ebo Leet, Erladis, Elange, Flash Gordon, May, Malak Starfire, Malin, Mercuton, Mayak, Neelam, LM1, Sheesh, and Rid. If you want to help out with the show, please consider becoming a member or a patron. And you get access to videos early, emotes, special supporter channel in Discord where I talk about why I'm not doing stuff today. No. And we get to talk about like what we're wanting to do, and you get to give me ideas for videos to do, etc., etc. Hey, Aikawarazu Chan. Yeah, or consider getting some merch. Either way, I've been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space.